Hello everyone, I'm Emma Grace, and today I'm here to talk about why we should have mental health programs in the discussion and education of mental health in our school programs all across our country. Now you may think, why do we need this? Well, to be honest, we could have an extremely positive impact on children across our entire country, educating them early on what mental health is, what to look for, and also it could help save a life in the long run. So, what could these positive impacts be? Well, to start off, talking about mental health could educate children on what it is. A lot of people don't really know about the subject of mental health because it has been such a subject that has been pushed to the side, and what to look for not only in themselves but in peers as well. If someone might be struggling, they may recognize the signs emotionally and physically and be able to tell a trusted adult so that that individual could get help. This also could get students more comfortable about talking about the subject. I feel like mental health is a subject that kind of gets stepped around and is a subject that is treated not as normal as other subjects in our school atmosphere. They may not want to trigger somebody, step on other people's toes, when in reality, mental health is a thing that needs to be talked about on a normal basis. That way, children are comfortable with going to an adult if they see something in themselves or in a friend. And finally, this could help someone recognize that personally they may have a mental health issue. A lot of people will look for stuff in peers like emotional or physical problems, but they overlook themselves. And in reality, a lot of people may have a mental health issue going on and they're unaware of it because they're uneducated, or they may know they have a problem and they may be embarrassed, ashamed, scared of bullying, and not want to speak up about it. So to start off, educating our kids about what to look for and expanding their knowledge over mental health. There was a research study done by Jay Aldridge, and in the scholarly source called The Relationship Between School Climate and Adolescent Mental Health Well-Being, shows that there is a study that the school climate, if it was positive and they talked about mental health, gave a positive feedback to the school as well. They did 48 studies between the years of 2000 and 2017 that showed that when they didn't have a mental health program with psychologists and therapists that were readily available to people that needed help, they had as negative feedback. Whereas when they taught mental health, they educated kids on what it is and what to look for, they had a more positive feedback. They had children speak up and say, hey, my friend has been showing these signs and I'm really worried about them. Maybe you can call them out of class and talk to them. And they've even had kids that took themselves to a therapist and said, I've really been feeling down lately. I haven't been doing my work and I really think I'm struggling and I need some guidance. And that's what we want. That's what we want people to do. Speak up for themselves and other people. Now, we also want to educate people on what to look for. There was a school-based study called the School-Based Intervention in Children's Mental Health, which is a scholarly source by F. Paulus, that shows that school programs that also have effective treatment created positive feedback. You can educate people on mental health all day long and tell them what it is, but if you don't have a resource for them to go to if they are struggling, it kind of defeats the purpose. And so they used popular databases across the web to show that children that were given a therapist or a psychologist spoke up about what they were going through and really talked about their friends as well, and all around wanted to just help somebody out. But because they were given that treatment, the psychologist, a trusted adult, a therapist, etc., they went to them for help. You can tell people, well, these are the signs of fatigue, not doing schoolwork, not motivated. Those are signs of a mental health illness, but if there's not treatment to go along with it, people can't get help to solve the problem. And finally, people may not know that there is an issue going on with themselves personally. They may look for signs in peers, which is easier to spot because it's not themselves, but they really need to take a step back and say, man, I haven't been doing my work, I'm not motivated, I'm always tired, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to hang out with my friends, I'm really not myself. Well, with putting these school-based mental health programs into their atmosphere, they may take a step back and say, I might need to talk to somebody. There might be something going on with me, maybe not necessarily my friend, or maybe both of them have something going on and they need to encourage each other to go talk to somebody. Well, Nancy Barley is an award-winning teacher, and she produced a web article and stated in it that the age of mental health problems usually develop around age 14, but most people, 80 to 90% of people who have a mental health problem may know it, but they wait for adulthood to speak up. And that's why we should create this positive atmosphere in our schools so that we could honestly save a life in the end, because if they wait till adulthood, it may get so severe that they don't know how to handle it. Whereas if we gave them positive resources like a therapist, a psychologist, a trusted adult, that either they speak about themselves or a peer reports them to them, that they would get help earlier in life. And kids need to know that everything is confidential between them and their therapist. No one's going to make fun of them. And it's honestly something that you should be proud of, speaking about your mental health with somebody that is trusted and can help you. And that is why I think we need to have mental health programs and education in our schools.